Once upon a time, a teacher of the law approached Jesus with a question. He was hoping to test him. "Teacher," he asked, "what do I need to do in order to receive eternal life?" Jesus, as always wise in his response, turned the question back to the man. "Well," he said, "what do the scriptures say? How do you interpret them?" The man, eager to showcase his knowledge, confidently replied to Jesus, "The scriptures teach us to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind, and we are also instructed to love our neighbors as ourselves." Jesus nodded, acknowledging the truth in the man's words. "You're absolutely right. If you follow these commandments, you will find true life." Then the teacher of the law posed another question to Jesus. "But who exactly is my neighbor?" he inquired. In response, Jesus began to tell the teacher of the law a captivating story. He spoke of a man who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, a dangerous road well known for its robbers. Unfortunately, the man fell victim to these criminals, who not only attacked and injured him, but also left him half dead after robbing him of his belongings. A priest happened to be walking down that same road, however. When he saw the injured man, he chose to ignore him and cross to the other side of the road. Shortly after, a Levite, also passing by, did the same, paying no attention to the suffering individual. But then, a Samaritan came along the way. Samaritans and Jews had a long-standing history of animosity. But this Samaritan showed a different side. When he saw the wounded man, his heart was moved. He approached him, pouring oil and wine on his wounds, and carefully bandaged them. He then lifted the man onto his own animal and took him to an inn, where he personally looked after him throughout the night. The following day, as the Samaritan had to continue his journey, he gave the innkeeper 2 silver coins and instructed him to care for the injured man. He promised to return and cover any additional expenses that may arise. Jesus paused for a moment, allowing the story to sink in. And then he asked the teacher of the law a simple question. Out of these 3 individuals, the priest, the Levite, and the Samaritan, who do you think acted like a neighbor to the man attacked by the robbers? The teacher of the law couldn't deny the truth. He replied, "The one who showed kindness and compassion." Jesus nodded with a warm smile. "Exactly," he said. "Now, you go and do the same." The parable of the Good Samaritan is a tale of compassion, a journey of kindness, and a lesson in transcending differences. He is a true embodiment of selfless love and unwavering goodness. The Good Samaritan extended his helping hand to an injured Jewish man, defying the cultural and religious barriers that usually divide them. Let's explore the remarkable characteristics of his service that continue to inspire us today. Service, despite differences. In a world marred by animosity between communities, the Good Samaritan's heart radiated with love for all. He is guided by the profound wisdom of ancient scriptures. He embraced the commandment, "If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. By doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you." This profound principle echoed in the New Testament, empowering us to overcome evil with good. Swift service. Only fate brought together the Samaritan and the wounded stranger, with no prior connection between them. Without hesitation, the Samaritan rushed to the aid of the injured man. He was only driven by compassion, and he was devoid of any desire for recognition. There were no eyes watching and no expectations to meet. But he knew that his acts were witnessed by the divine. Despite potential barriers, such as differences in nationality, religion, and even the risk of being accused himself of injuring the Jewish man, the Samaritan's relentless dedication prevailed. He demonstrated to us that true kindness knows no boundaries. Spontaneous service. The Samaritan's service flowed effortlessly, extending to anyone in need. He is spontaneous. The actions of the Good Samaritan embodied the essence of genuine care and empathy. Continuous service. The Samaritan's commitment did not end with superficial aid. Not only did he treat the wounds, But he lifted the injured man onto his own noble steed, guiding him to a nearby inn. There, he secured his comfort by leaving a deposit of 2 silver coins, promising to return and cover any additional expenses. This unwavering dedication mirrors the biblical truth that he who began a good work in, you will bring it to completion. This story offers multiple crucial lessons that we can learn. And to be a faithful follower of God, we are called to love Him completely by using all aspects of ourselves. An additional point to consider is loving our neighbors as much as we do ourselves by demonstrating kindness and compassion towards them. The lesson imparted by this tale is that we must broaden our definition of neighbor beyond people who resemble us culturally and encompass any person needing support, irrespective of background. The plot motivates us to lend a hand to individuals in need of assistance, just as the Samaritan voluntarily did, implying that true love entails not just emotions, but also encourages us to take active steps towards assisting and showing concern for others. Jesus desires that we show love and have empathy towards every person we meet on our journey through life. Now reflect on how remarkable it is that someone like the Good Samaritan possessed such extraordinary traits. And ask ourselves, are we carrying this message with us? Are we ready to break down barriers and ignite a revolution of love and kindness by transcending differences in our own lives?